Ever since the terrorist attack near the finish line 4 years ago, Boston's Marathon Weekend has become a broader celebration of teamwork and resilience. You can see that in the many activities planned for One Boston Day on April 15th. But resilience also reflects the mission of an agency in Boston that helps people struggling with homelessness and poverty. To tell us about the sneaker drive started by St. Francis House is its Vice President of Philanthropy and External Affairs, Maggie Burns. Thank you very much for being with us, Maggie.
Oh, Chris, thank you for having me.
This is a drive that started 3 years ago. What got it going?
John Hancock. So John Hancock is one of the premier sponsors for the marathon, and they're a partner with St. Francis House in the work that we do. And it was actually an individual at John Hancock's idea to partner with us on around the marathon for a shoe drive. You know, it made sense, sneakers, the marathon, and our need for sneakers, because we deliver over 3,000 pair of shoes a year to the guests that come to St. Francis House.
And talk about how important it is for people to have at least decent things to wear on their feet.
It's critically important, particularly if you're homeless. We serve both people who are experiencing homelessness and poverty. If you're homeless, you are outside for a great part of the day. You're walking most places that you need to be, and it's in all types of weather. So if you can imagine walking miles in the rain and then having to put those same shoes on the next day, it's a health hazard, and it's important that they have sturdy, clean, dry shoes.
Talk about the need for something that gives your feet enough support, because a lot of people, we drive, most of us.
Yeah, right, I know.
We don't understand that, but for somebody who has to walk maybe 5 miles a day, what does that mean?
It's a critical need, and a lot of illness and disease can start with the feet. So if you are living in homelessness and you have diabetes or any other type of disease, it's very important that your feet are clean and they're stable as you walk. I mean, you don't want to turn an ankle, you don't want to have arch issues. It's really important that the shoes that we deliver to our guests are sturdy, as new as they can be, or very lightly used. So the preference is good, sturdy sneakers that are new.
And these can be no-frills sneakers. They don't have to have all these extra things added for athletes or something like that.
No, they don't. They don't. So, your sneakers, basic. I mean, everybody loves something with frills, so it doesn't matter across the board. Our folks get to choose which pair that they want.
Yeah, you have something lined up where people can drop these off in some days. They should
we have a lot of great partnerships in the city. So along with John Hancock, we've been promoting this to some of other stores. So we have Marathon Sports that is now collecting shoes. They have a box. Doc Martin on Newbury Street, the Fairmont Hotel, the Marriott Copley. All of these locations you can go to and drop off shoes, along with City Hall. And then there are a few other organizations that are doing it as well. The Hampshire House is one. So yeah, there are plenty of options. And the day of the marathon at the expo at the World Trade Center, there's going to be several opportunities, several boxes at that location for the runners to drop off sneakers. And Friday is the day where the elite runners are donating sneakers to St. Francis House. So it's a really well orchestrated event by John Hancock. We're really appreciative for their partnership with this, and it does make a huge difference to us. It's a line item for us in our budget. We have a $9 million budget, and this is a line item for clothing and shoes, and anything that gets donated helps us reduce our costs. So it's terrific.
You mentioned one company in one event here, but talk about the larger picture and what's happened after that terrible marathon day a few years back, because you have all these businesses connecting with people in the city in a way that they didn't do before. What does that mean? Yeah.
And this is terrific. This is something that the mayor started, One Boston Day, and it's a day to give back. It's a day for kindness. And it's highly promoted throughout the city. The mayor has a website, One Boston Day, and it gives folks ideas on how they can give back. So this is one small way that the city is coming together to give back to the community by donating shoes to St. Francis House.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Maggie Burns from St. Francis House. Maggie, I also want to ask you about the resilience shown by the people that you try to help, people who've been struggling with poverty and homelessness, and the whole strategy here is not just to feed them and give them a place to sleep at night. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, right. So St. Francis House is a day shelter, Chris. So folks come to St. Francis House when the night shelters close. So they wake up in the morning, they were homeless that night, they're going to be homeless that day. St. Francis House is a place where you can come for refuge, which is basic services, food, clothing, shelter. We're also very highly programmatic in that we offer a robust workforce development program. We help folks find affordable housing, permanent housing. We have 4 floors of housing that we can offer that's permanent. We just bought a building across the street at 48 Boylston, and we're building 46 units of affordable housing. We're also opening a substance use disorder program at 38. We're going to be moving some offices over to the new building and backfilling with a program for substance use disorder, which, as you know, is a critical issue here in Boston. And we're opening a social business enterprise in the new building. So that will be part of our workforce development as well.
I know the housing is only one part of this, but say a little more about why stable housing is so important to people who want to get more self-sufficient, to go back to work.
It's critical. As you can imagine, not having any place to go at night and having to sleep in a shelter. I mean, people need the foundation of a home. You need to go home, you need to get ready for the next day, you need to prepare yourself, you need the dignity of having a place to live. It's crucial. It's difficult, extremely difficult, having to navigate your way through the issue of homelessness anyway, and to not have a safe place to go to rest and to recoup is, again, very taxing on the individual.
Finally, we should remind our viewers, if they want to help out with the drive or find out some other things about St. Francis House, you've got a place where they can do that?
We do. We have a website, and it's stfrancishouse.org, stfrancishouse.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Maggie Burns from St. Francis House.
All right.
Up ahead, Vida Hispana with Maga Troncoso.